All right. Hey, everybody out there in internet land, and welcome to week 3 of the Undesirables here on twitch.tv/imaginaryRoleplay. First thing you might notice is that we've had a little bit of a cast change since last week. Also, hopefully you will notice that the audio problems we've been experiencing the past couple of weeks are fixed. Fingers crossed, hoping. So now I should not be dramatically louder than everyone else, and if I am, please let me know, and I will try to get it fixed. So, another announcement. These VODs have been up on the Twitch site, twitch.tv/imaginaryRoleplay, and I'm uploading them also to YouTube. I'm also going to start converting the video files over to audio format to publish those as podcasts, because I've had requests for that as well. So, just something to keep an eye out for. And so I guess this is sort of a reboot, restart for us, now that hopefully everyone can be heard, and from here on out the series will be more enjoyable. So, just to take a step back and do a quick introduction for the series for anyone who's watching who's new, not familiar with the series. This is a game in the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons rule set. Takes place on a fantasy world called Abayaneth, in one particular little corner of the world, which was once known as the Kingdom of Helgany, which was the first great human kingdom. And this kingdom has a long history, primarily detailed by its interactions, often not favorable, with other races who are also inhabiting this part of the world. As the Kingdom of Helgany developed and grew, it rubbed shoulders and caused some friction with the Elven kingdoms who inhabited the forests of this part of the world. And there was a long, bloody, and tragically inevitable war between the humans and elves, which ended about 350 years before our game takes place. Around the same time, there was a plague that broke out in the human kingdoms, centered in its ancient capital, Mindestir, and as the plague spread, it sort of shattered the kingdom apart. And the center heart of the kingdom is now a waste known as the Wraithfen, full of diseased and haunted places. The remaining areas of Helgany, which are still inhabitable, broke up into 5 competing kingdoms. There's Helgravia, Andalmar, Gwynland, Glendarren, and Nordasfen. Our game is taking place in the capital city of Helgravia, which is called Revenskern. It is an ancient city with a long and somewhat mysterious history. It's said that the city was built on the ruins of some ancient encastlement from a race that is lost to the pages of time. So there's a lot of stuff under the city that hasn't been explored and is still kind of mysterious. Our party, these guys, are all adventurers who, they're a mix of different races, all of them non-human, who have come together to try and eke out a living in this part of the world that's really not that friendly towards non-humans. It's human-dominated, and humans tend to be kind of xenophobic when it comes to dealing with the other races. So, we sort of pick up where we were last week. When we left off, you guys are getting settled in Revenskern, and you don't really have a place to live yet. You've been crashing on the floor of a tavern, and you registered with the local mercenaries guild, so you can get jobs through them for anyone who's looking for a hired sword. You guys have a chance of getting a contract that'll get you some money. You came to Revenskern with a good amount of wealth, based on your company's previous history in a little town called Driftwood, which was attached to a military fort guarding the trade road to the east. So you actually currently have a total chest of 1,100 gold, 28 silver, and 15 copper. That's your entire wealth together. And it is currently the 18th day of the month of sowing, so it is middle autumn. the days are getting shorter, the nights are getting colder, and you have just come back from a trip to one of the small farming villages on the outskirts of Revenskirn, where you were investigating a series of just nasty, brutal, grisly, but not the bear, murders. And you discovered that there was a revenant, this returned zombie-like creature that had come to wreak vengeance on the men who had killed his beloved and then framed him for the murder. So there was only one of the guilty men left alive. You sort of fought off the revenant, destroyed its physical form, but you think that it might come back for this guy. So you decided that the best course of action was just to bring this guy back to Revenskirn, have him confess his crimes, and that's what's happened, is you've brought him back to the city, and he's confessed, he's been thrown in a prison cell, and at that point, when you were done with that, it was late. You didn't really have anywhere else to stay, so you retired to the Squeaky Weasel Tavern in the northern district of town, where you found food and drink and a comfortable, well, somewhat comfortable floor. Has a carpet to sleep on. Do all of you, well, Baragon, you're not in the picture yet, but Alkir and Dimsy, do you guys sleep in the tavern again, or do you join Marquis out in the Maple Beaver, your trusty carriage? Or, for that matter, Marquis, are you sleeping in the Beaver tonight, or are you finding other accommodations?
Staying in the Beaver.
Sims will be in the tavern.
I'm going to try my hand at that buxom young woman again.
Okay.
It's never gonna work.
It will.
So yeah, the bar is managed by an attractive elven woman who you apparently fancy. You kind of struck out the first time you tried to earn her wiles, but yeah, go ahead and make a charisma roll, and we'll see how you fare tonight.
Come on, 6.
Not much better.
No, you're slowly improving, I guess. Persistence seems to be helping a little bit, but she's still entirely not interested in you. So,
it's fine. Eventually. Probably not.
So, are you paying for a place on the floor upstairs tonight?
Yes, I suppose.
Okay, so Dimsy and Alkir, that costs each of you 5 silver pieces.
And much less to drink than last time. I don't want to spend the next, Bear Lich encounter.
You guys did just fine.
Yep.
We really did.
Accompanying you guys is Darius, your trusty bard, who has been with you on your adventures. One of the founders of your adventuring company, the Undesirables. He's with you, and he, sort of retires early. Seems like he's in a bit of a funk tonight. As you arise the next day, you guys notice that Darius isn't with you. He's gone. He's not in the tavern. No one reacts to this. Okay, so
I look around for him, and I asked a few people, asked the barman to see where he went. You seen our little demon-headed friend?
Okay, asking the barmaid who's down there getting breakfast and everything ready. She tells you that he left early in the morning when it was still dark.
Did he say where he was going?
Nope. But as you look around, you see that his pack with all his belongings and gold is still upstairs in the common room. He didn't take it with him.
Quite odd.
That seems odd.
Hmm.
He must have been taken.
I'd go out and see Marquis, see if he saw him, if he's talked to him.
Okay. Marquis, why don't you make a perception check for me?
You kidding? I'm practically blind.
No, 17 is good.
I don't know.
So yeah, you think you remember seeing him late at night, sort of half aroused at the sound of someone leaving the tavern and you just noticed this shape that kind of looked like Darius walking down the street.
And you didn't think to stop him.
Nah, I wouldn't stop him. I would assume he knew what he was doing. It wouldn't be the first time the demon just wandered off.
Yep. You need some alone time.
Hey.
So, yeah, sort of taking assess of you guys' situation. You're in a new city. You don't know a lot of people. Marky, you shared a bottle of wine with a half-orc named Thorg, who gave you some information about the town. Clued you into a group of monks calling themselves the Order of the True Way that he says set up shop kind of recently in Revenskirn. You met up with them, talked to a halfling by the name of
Brother Mathau.
I've got it here. Where is it?
Brother Mathau.
Yeah, we'll go with that for now. I think that's wrong, actually, but
Must
we'll
be
go with that.
Master Milo.
Milo, that was his name. Okay. Yeah, you talked to a halfling named Milo, and he's, sort of welcomed you to the ranks. So, you got that going for you. And you guys have joined the Mercenaries Guild, so there's a chance that you might check in there with work, for work. Every now and then they might have some jobs for you. But, if you don't want to just spend every night sleeping on a tavern floor, it might behoove you to look into purchasing some property in the city.
He's fighting
Sure.
it in his rooms.
Yeah, it's getting quite expensive to stay in that inn every night. It's on a
Maybe
floor
if you
as well.
broke-
It's not very nice. So yeah, we'll have a story group meeting. Do you want to get a house in town, or do you want to get a bit out of town if we can? Possibly.
Get a nice villa on the countryside.
Yeah.
Maybe not a villa, but the last time we stayed in a town, we broke the town.
And
For
last
the
time
better,
we stayed in the town, it
Until it
burned down
burnt
to the ground.
And we lost our house, so let's get one outside the town.
Our fault.
Sure, we could get a small plot of land where we could grow our own food. Spend even less money.
Yeah, who's gonna watch those crops while we're out, fighting stuff and
I'll
unsuccessfully
find a
hitting them
Winry
women?
2.0, okay?
Also, Marquis, you have that Bud Light can right in front of your camera.
Oops.
Thank you.
Product placement.
Yeah, they're
Oops.
paying me right now.
Not a sponsor, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, I swear.
It's not a Canadian beer. How dare you?
I have no comeback
Second
from
by
this.
this, bud.
Anyway, so what do you guys want to get up to today? The sun is bright on the eastern sky. You have a full day ahead of you. What would you like to do?
I think I'm gonna hit up the local Cooks Guild. I haven't checked up with them in quite a while.
Okay. Yeah. You check in with the Cook's Guild. Do you know somebody there?
I don't, but I am affiliated.
I see. All right. So, what do you do when you arrive in the Cook's Guild of Revenskirn?
Well, for one, I probably haven't been paying my dues,
No, almost certainly you haven't.
so I'm probably gonna want to take care of that real quick.
Okay. How long have you been gone?
Well, how long have I been in Driftwood?
At least 6
40
months.
years.
Yeah, so I'd say maybe a year or so of
Okay.
none of that stuff.
Okay. And before you left, what would you say was you were just sort of a novice cook, right?
So I was doing pretty good. Like I wasn't a master cook or anything, but
Okay.
I had just gotten done with all my training and whatnot.
Okay. In that case, you owe them 60 gold in back dues.
All right, then let's get that paid off.
Okay.
I believe that puts me down to 50, right?
Yep, 50 gold, 6 silver. So,
Sweet.
yeah, all right. So you pay your back dues, you make some apologies, and yeah.
Sorry,
Anything else?
I was out in the middle of nowhere. Guess I'll hang out there for a little bit.
Okay.
I'll have let them know where I'm at. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
catch up and see what the new haps have been in the last year.
Okay.
Learn how to cook a fish.
So Marquis and Dimsy, what are you guys up to?
I believe Dimsy would probably be trying to check out that magic place that he was told about.
Okay. So there is no Mages Guild or anything like that in the city of Revenskern. This is a part of the Human Kingdoms where magic is pretty rare and kind of a feared thing. But there are some people in town who are members of an order called the Mysterium Arcanus, which is an order affiliated with the Mages College of Andalmar. And they are all about collecting and preserving ancient magical mysteries, and so probably the people you want to talk to.
Yeah, them guys. So he'll go sort them out if he can.
Okay. Well, easiest place to find them is there is a excuse me, an arcanist shop in the western district of Revenskern, and the guy who owns and operates it is a member of the Mysterium Arcanus.
Right, so I'll go visit his store and say hello. I am a budding practicer of the arts. I was wondering if I could get some training, possibly.
Okay. As you walk in, you're assailed by these various strange and exotic scents. There are different, like, dried bits of creatures. Not entirely all of them look natural. Like, there's some dried monster bits and, like, ghoul fingers and,
I see if Hideaki's cooking
centaur
here.
entrails and all that that's sort of strung about in this, what could very easily be mistaken for like a wizard's laboratory for the most part. There's a few things that are like put on display nicely that you could probably guess are like the store's inventory for sale, but there's a guy who's sort of hunched over in the back behind a desk who's tinkering with mixing a couple ingredients together, and he sees you. He puts the beakers down, and one of them is smoking heavily, pouring over the top. And says, yes, welcome to my store. So you are interested in the arcane arts, are you?
Very much so. I've been taught by my grandfather, and he's gone now, but I'd like to continue my practice if possible.
Yes, I see. Well, and your name is?
Dimsy Folwick.
Dimsy Folwick. Interesting name, is strangely familiar. Oh well, probably not important. Anyway, yes, have you come to peruse my wares?
I'll have a look around, see if I can spot anything that would interest me.
Okay. Make an investigation roll. See if you can notice anything special in the store.
Probably.
Okay. No, it's just sort of a collection of magical what's-its, crystal balls, and, a few, like, tiny creatures, like a glowing fly of some sort in a glass vial, and there's like a little tank that has live frogs hopping around inside of it, and so, yeah. And that sort of stuff.
No, I'm more interested in joining your order that you have here. You have a small group of people.
Yeah, so you're interested in becoming one of the Mysterium Arcanus.
Very much so, yes.
Fantastic! We're always looking for new talent to join our ranks now. There is a somewhat simple test, which, of course, you must fulfill in order to apply to the college.
Of course. Be willing.
Fantastic. Well, let me see here. And you see him, he sort of disappears in the back of the store for a minute. And then comes back out with a sort of heavy carpet bag full of things that rattles around as he looks around. Now, what school are you practiced in?
The evocation.
Ah, evocation, a wonderful school. I've always been more, well, we can talk about that later. Anyway, yes, let's see here. And he pulls out of this huge carpet bag a couple of broomsticks, and he sticks on each of the broomsticks a large rubber ball, and he puts one sort of 10 feet to your left, and the other just 5 feet away from it, and says, "Now, I wish for you to cast a magical spell that will incinerate this ball, but leave this ball unharmed."
And Imsy will take a step back, and we'll just cast a fireball at it. He gets it. Firebolt, not fireball, sorry. Fireball would be a bit crazy.
Ball would be the bad one.
Okay.
15.
Okay, you're able to cast a fireball, and it hits one of them, and sort of knocks it over, and it burns. And says, "Ah, very good, very good. Yes, I think you have the aptitude necessary. Well, yes, I shall have to speak with my friend. He is an actual master of the evocation arts here in town. He will have the authority to give you official entry into the Mysterium Arcanus. Just one moment while I speak to him." He takes a step back and, with a trembling hand, reaches out and from a bowl of various things, coins and what looks like a lizard eye, pulls out a stick of chalk, and on his desk just draws this very quickly and very skillfully this arcane glyph, and then places his hands down at either side of it and says, "Come forth, Nicodemus, I summon thee." As he says this, the outline of chalk just poofs up into the air, and it forms this image of a man in long, pale blue robes. He has a long gray beard, tied neatly, and is wearing kind of a conical, think like the Sorcerer's Apprentice type hat on top of his head. And he's just this stoic figure, very stately and masterfully looking, standing there, formed out of this cloud of dust. And he says, "Yes, Demetrius, what can I do for you?" "Ah, Nicodemus, this young gnome, well, maybe not young, this gnome wishes to join the ranks of the Mysterium Arcanus as a neophyte. He has passed the test. He has shown great aptitude with evocation." I see. Step closer, gnome.
I'll do so. No. Bit wary, you've never seen this magic before.
So you wish to unravel the nature of evocation.
Very much so, yes.
You wish to harness its power for your own.
And for my friends, yes.
I see. Well, the Mysterium Arcanus welcomes those who have talent. All we ask is that you share any research or discovery you may find, so that the community of magic may grow from its learnedness and its addition to our vast sums of knowledge.
Of course. Knowledge is power.
Fantastic. I will leave Demetrius to initiate you further. And then the chalk sort of explodes out, and this image of the guy disappears. Oh, very good. I'm glad. I'm glad Nicodemus has at long last found a student. It's been years, decades, almost a century since his last one. Well, we don't need to speak of the accident right now. It's not that important. Anyway,
Accident?
yes, I welcome you as a neophyte of the Mysterium Arcanas. It is my pleasure to offer you a discount of 5% on any item in my store, reserved only for Mysterium Guild members, I assure you. I will also need to be collecting your monthly dues. I'll make sure that they are sent to the appropriate coffers.
Okay, and Dims will say, how much would that be? No, reach into his pocket.
All lower members of the school are required to pay a monthly due of 10 gold.
So Dims will pull it out and say, okay, here you go.
Thank you
Never
very
done
much.
taxes.
He sort of takes it in one hand, and then when his hand opens, there's nothing there.
David Blaine.
Okay.
I gotta say, I'm at least a little bit disappointed that there was an actual being, like when he was going to summon the guy, because I was convinced at first that he was just going to pull out a sock puppet.
Would have been way more epic.
Sadly, you thought through this well,
Nicodemus!
far more than I have.
Yes.
Damn it, you're right. Why didn't I think of that? Okay. So that's what Dimsy's up to. Marquis, what are you up to today?
Well, as we don't really have a house yet, and I've got far too many belongings for a monk, takes some time to go sell a few.
Okay, what are you off selling while these
Well,
guys are...
Due to the fact that I'm horribly inept at social expectations, even though I'm a gigantic dragonborn, I'll have my hood over my head so I can blend in a little bit better, not realizing the fact that carrying a great axe and a trident might make me stand out in public.
Tiny bit. Okay, so what are you selling?
Great axe and trident.
Oh, easy enough.
The Great Axe. What if we come up against another troll?
It only worked once, get over it.
Okay. So where are you trying to sell these?
Preferably a weapon shop if there is one, but I'd have nowhere to go.
Okay. Do you just ask around?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you make a... screw it. I won't make you roll. So, you get pointed in the direction of a smithy in the Northern District. And as you approach, it's kind of plain looking outside. Just a stone facade, solid oak door. And, as you're approaching, the door swings open, and there's a couple guys walking out, just muttering to one another and seeming to bluster. So, as you walk in, the place is dimly lit. You can see the reddish glow of forge embers in the back of the room. You can see this huge forge with bellows attached to it. There's a striking anvil next to it and a big hammer. And sort of hunched slightly over the counter with his hands on it and his head down, you see this big half-orc. And you recognize this is your former drinking buddy, Thorg, that you met a couple nights ago. And so he doesn't look up as you walk in. He just, keeps his head down and mutters, "What do you want?"
Is that you, Thorg?
And he looks up and says, "Oh, you, Marquis, I think it was, right?"
That's correct. I'd like to thank you for your help pointing us around the city. We've already made good use of the information you've given us.
Yeah, well, if you had any sense, you'd leave this place behind. Find some town that isn't full of pricks.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
So, what can I do for you?
I'm going to place the trident and the great axe on the counter. I need to sell these. Being a monk, I have no use for them.
Hmm. Let me see here. He takes them and examines them. It's good condition. Doesn't look like they've been used all that much. Picks up the great axe and kind of swings it around. Gives it a few experimental swings.
Cut off the arm of a troll, that did.
Hmm. Troll arm, you say? Always hated trolls.
Who doesn't?
Okay.
The arm's gone.
The arm is gone. All of your little monster bits and trinkets and trophies are gone. Yeah, since he likes you, he'll offer you a fair price for them. So, 35 gold pieces.
Done. Thank you.
Okay. I'll say, I appreciate you being a nice guy.
And since now that I know you run a weapon shop, if we have any need for arms in the future, I'll be bringing the Undesirables here.
Yeah, well, hopefully the shop's still here in the future.
Sound like you have issues.
I got a list of them. I've got creditors I'm behind on. I got a bunch of human assholes that have been giving me grief since I opened this place. I get they don't like orcs, but not my problem.
Anything specific the Undesirables could help with?
I doubt it. If busting skulls could solve the problem, I would have done it myself a long time ago.
Ha! Touche.
So, yeah. Unfortunately, unless you're in the private finance business, I don't know that there's much you can do to help me.
You would be correct about that. Sorry to hear about your money troubles, but thanks for buying the weapons. Bye.
He waves.
That's it.
Okay. So morning passes, gets to be about, shortly after noon. You guys meet up again. What do you want to do?
Should we try and
should,
find something about Darius, or do you want to just... It's kind of disappeared.
How many tieflings would you say are within the city limits?
Are you asking someone for that information?
Like, I guess it would be more like how many have I seen since coming to the city?
Make a perception check. We'll see if you've been paying attention. Okay.
Not really.
No, you're not sure. You think somewhere between, you may have seen 2 or 12. It's
47.
yeah.
The number is between 0 and 500.
Yeah, somewhere there.
Well,
Possibly an accurate statement.
Well, if it's at least that many, with me not even paying attention, I'd have to assume that nobody would really, it's not like in Driftwood where we could say, "Hey, have you seen a tiefling?" Like, "Oh, we know who exactly you're talking about."
Uh-huh.
So I can't imagine we're going to get too terribly far with inquiries like that. Just asking people around town. No, we could
back on his own.
Maybe. We could probably add in the extra. He might have been singing something weird. But I think that's about as much questioning as we might be able to get.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna find him like that way.
Yeah, otherwise, I think we should try and figure out if we can afford anywhere to live, or if not, what we can do to afford it.
Agreed.
Yes.
Okay. So if you are interested in getting property and getting it on the cheap, which you probably are, the best place to go about it is the office of the Royal Office of Taxes and Levies. So they typically have property for sale that's been seized for lack of paying taxes. So that's usually where you can find cheap property.
The hooligans. Let's go auction on some foreclosures.
Yay.
One God.
Profiting off of other people's misery.
Okay. So you get to the Royal Office of Taxes and Levies, and they have a number of pieces of property that are currently for sale. There is, that are currently for sale in the northern district of the city, which is the only place you would be allowed to buy not allowed to buy property as non-humans.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a closed down tavern that used to be called the Blackened Boar. That would cost you 2,500 gold pieces. There is an alchemist shop that would cost you 500 gold pieces. A small house that would cost 150 gold pieces. And a mansion that is sat vacant for close to 10 years. It would cost you 1,200 gold pieces.
I say we go for the inn and then the mansion.
How much was
I
the inn
voted for
again?
the house.
How much was what again?
The inn?
The tavern is
Yeah.
2,500 gold pieces.
We don't have that much.
No. Currently your combined wealth is 1,063 gold pieces, 38 silver, and 59 copper. So if you wanted to try and buy that, you'd have to take out a loan from somebody.
Now.
Yeah. No. Is the alchemy shop bigger than the house, or
It is slightly.
something? Probably go for the alchemy shop. We could do some stuff with that. Not too much
What?
more.
Blow ourselves up and die?
No, we're not opening an alchemy shop, but it's pretty good rooms and such.
You would assume, but it's probably set up like a shop.
Yeah. Take too much work. Get our kid
How many
to do
rooms
it.
are? How many rooms are in the house?
The house or the alchemy shop?
The house.
The small house is 2 stories. There is a first floor room, which is also a kitchen, and then 2 upper floor rooms.
Perfect.
Yeah. Let's. I say we get the inn, 'cause then we can have employees.
Cannot afford it.
You
I
dream
don't want to
far
go
too
into debt
big.
with these people.
I'm not dreaming big, and you guys are dreaming small.
I don't want to go into debt so quickly.
Well, if you're not going to go into debt to buy a house, what the hell are you going to go into debt for?
Preferably nothing.
Yeah.
You don't know how money works? I think you're outvoted.
Yeah. So now it's between the house and the alchemy shop. How many rooms does the alchemy shop have?
The alchemy shop
transfer.
has one big storefront area, a back area for stores that's smaller, has a basement, and then also a one-room upper floor. It's just open plan upper floor.
Do a lot of things with that, guys.
Yeah, die.
The house will be easier to fit our stuff in and live in.
Oh, fine. Go with the house.
Okay, so you want to purchase the small house?
Fine, but we're getting an inn as soon as we got the money for it.
You guys are obsessed with material possessions.
Okay, so you spend 150 gold. I'm just going to take that out of your shared loot to buy the deed to this house. And the Royal Office of Taxes and Levies just let you know that your monthly property taxes will be 15 gold.
Cheaper than the last place.
It's also considerably smaller than the last
Yeah,
place.
smaller, yeah.
Yeah.
That works.
Does it even have parking for the Maple Beaver?
Not as such as there's not really parking. I mean, you
Oh,
could just
there's-
stop it out front.
There's enough room. Yeah,
But yeah. It would just be a carriage. You'd probably want to stable the horses, so it'd just be a carriage with no horses attached to it. Which does make it harder to steal. But
Works for me.
Probably gonna run into some half orcs that are just gonna rickshaw it across the city.
Okay.
I guess we're getting
Go
the
check it
the
out,
house.
so- I've already got it.
Sounds so bitter.
Whoops. Okay. So you guys going to check out your new house?
Sure.
As well.
Okay. So you're given a pair of keys that open the front door. When you come to the house, you find that the front door has been busted open.
Yeah, damn.
This is already a bad investment. Hey, you see what's going on, guys? This is why we need the better place.
Is this an Iron Kingdom repeat?
It is not full of gobbers. You think?
So I'll go in. See what
Yeah, let the wizard go in first.
the wizard going first, man. He's fine.
Okay.
Fireball it. It's fine.
Yeah. Dimsy, you step inside and you find that the place is like empty of all of its furnishings. It's just completely bare bones. And you see that like lying on the bare hardwood floors, which are covered with a nice layer of dust, given how long this place has been unoccupied, right in front of the fireplace, lying in a pool of vomit, is a dwarf.
Is that you, Traffic?
Does it look like traffic at all?
No, it doesn't. He's not wearing heavy armor. He's just wearing
Alright,
like sort
so-
of,
So I'll walk over to him and see if he's alive. Just give him a kick.
okay. Very good.
Who is that?
You're in our house.
In a house? Where am I?
Ravenscairn?
Oh, so I did make it to town. He just kind of springs up and looks around a little bit, trying to find himself. Eventually, he just kind of stands and looks at you, and just kind of eyes you a little bit, beats his chest, I guess, in a way, and goes, "I'm Baragon. I come here for a reason, I'm sure." And then he just kind of turns around and starts retching on the floor.
I'll take a step back. Oh, jeez.
Hey guys, I'm sure that that inn has at least 100% fewer retching dwarves in it.
You ever been to a tavern?
When has that ever been true of a tavern?
Hey, this one's
Yeah.
empty. We get to control how many dwarves are throwing up in it.
There's like 4 unconscious dwarves in that one.
It's a real problem.
So, is the reason you're here, or just don't really know?
Well, eventually he will have finished his morning dues and turn around and kind of look around for his belongings and kind of like, grabs at his sides. He's got his axe. He's just about good, and he goes to pick up his pack and kind of just like falls over. And he's like, "Hey buddy, you mind giving me a hand?" And he just kind of reaches up at you.
It's like, not the strongest, and I'll try, and I'll grab his hand and I'll try and lift him up.
Okay, make a strength roll.
I'm gonna
You can
stand
hear
and
Alkir
watch.
clapping
Fail. I'm
from
gonna be on the
outside.
floor. Oh yeah, I'm on the floor.
So yeah, instead of you pulling him up, he just sort of pulls you down.
Well, aren't you a friendly fella?
Like, oh god.
Poke my head in. Oh my!
And so, yeah, if you're going to be poking your head in, I would just kind of like look up. Whoa, what's that?
Dragon.
I guess I'll stomp in and kind of look down. What the hell's going on here?
Well, I found myself in a house with a guy, and he tried to help me, and then I fell, and then he fell, and now
Haul
there's a
them to his
dragon.
feet.
What?
Just gonna haul them both to their feet.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that
it's
works.
pretty easy for you.
So, I guess at this point, Baragon will, he's kind of gathered himself a little bit. He shakes off the lightheadedness from being taken up so quickly, and he'll turn to the Dragonborn. Being the bigger guy, that's kind of how things work in the wild. You would address the more intimidating one, and he kind of turns to him and puts out his hand as a greeting and says, Baragon, I've come here from the forest because I was attacked by some humans, and I was told that this is the nearest town. So I'm just kind of here looking for some work to try to renew my home.
Marky will take his hand and shake it and ask, when do dwarves live in forests?
Dwarves live in forests when their family was killed and they were exiled by their clan.
Ah, fun times that. Yeah, if you're looking for work, we just joined the Mercenaries Guild. You might as well do the same.
Guys, I got an idea. Team huddle. Let's go.
Okay.
There's 3 of us. It'll be a triangular hug.
Like, we're all varying sizes.
I'm sorry. I love that. Like, oh yeah, my family was killed. I was exiled. Oh yeah, tough. Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
What? I
Marquis,
feel sympathy for him.
Marquis, you get inspiration for being a prick. So there you go.
All right.
Monk is a
So
prick.
when I get the other 2 in, I will talk to them, quietly. So we got this dwarf guy, and our house is a mess. We should make him clean it up.
What do you want him to do? Chop the wood?
No, I'm saying he could clean up the house because it's so dusty and everything. I don't want to do that. Do you guys want? You guys want to do that? I didn't think so. So we have him do it.
Cleaning the tavern if it was just as dusty.
Yeah, I would. I would probably be cleaning that tavern. Be great.
We're licking it clean.
But that's neither here or there, is it? What we got here is a dwarf who looks like he needs a place to stay for the night. I'm saying could let him stay, but if he cleans the house before he does it, then we won't have to do it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you give him the
Horrible plan.
proposition.
No, you tell him. Yeah.
All right, if you guys are making me the leader here, that's fine by me.
No.
Nope, sorry, too late. Shut the door behind me. Shut him out.
I will eat you.
All right. So what was his name again? What was his name? Berrigan? Bear something?
Way
Of
better.
course.
Reds.
The bear.
It's Baragon.
Right. So Bear gone. That's good. I like that name. All right. So we got a deal for you. See how messy it is in here? We'll let you stay here for a while if you help us clean it up a bit. Sweeping and puke removing.
I don't think Baragon would have any problems with that. He'd probably just look at the little guy and go, "Oh, I think that's okay, being as I've made most of the mess myself."
So it's a good man. Guys, I like this guy. Not only does he make bears go gone, but he is willing to clean after himself.
You killed a bear?
I'm just assuming that isn't that how dwarves get their names? They do something awesome and then they get named after it.
Well, they're given names at birth, actually, but
Oh.
They just call dwarf number 436 until they do something cool.
Yeah, like I thought they had like I don't know. I need to learn more about dwarven culture, I guess.
Do it after you pick up a
The
broom.
traffic.
Okay, so you guys set to the task of making your new house a home, and we'll take a quick break there for 5 minutes. For those of you watching on Twitch, we'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Undesirables on twitch.tv/imaginaryroleplay. Be right back.